Chubb, running back.
Good Saturday morning to y'all out there. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your weekend. We're a little bit late coming in here this morning because of some technical difficulties, but we appreciate y'all hanging out with us for a dueling mock draft Saturday. I'm Jacob. That's Bill. We're brought to you as always by our friends over at SeatGeek. Use our promo code Barking Browns, all one word. Get $20 off your first purchase. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Hit that little bell so you know every time we go live or post videos. We got all kinds of awesome, some really interesting, intriguing stuff coming up this week. Potentially, we don't know. We'll see. We're working on it. But yeah, we love you guys. Appreciate you for being here. How we doing, Bill?
We are doing good, Jacob. We had some good football last night. If you're an Indiana fan, if you're an Oregon fan, I'm sorry in advance because it didn't look great. But now we're on to Wild Card Weekend. We got some good matchups here, but we figured that we would give the people what they want, what they need, and that's a 7-round mock draft. But rather than collaborative, we kind of wanted to go bar for bar, take a couple different avenues on rebuilding this team that I think you and I might differ on a little bit. So I'm curious to see where we go with this.
Yeah, and like they always say on NFL Stock Exchange, it's time to pay the bills. So it's time for us to pay the bills. And I will say
gotta keep the lights on.
If you are watching live on YouTube right now and you want to bribe me with super chats, I wouldn't
bribe the man.
I wouldn't not.
Hey, government officials might be above taking a bribe. He's not. He'll take one.
No, I'm not better than that at all. I am fully 100% bribable. I was gonna say I do want to say yes. Last night's playoff game wasn't great, but that Thursday game, man. Holy shit, was that fun? That was fun. I'm very interested now to see that. Because Carson Beck, he's starting to get on a tear, but I'm very interested to see how he does with that Indiana defense. He did fine with Ohio State's. He did fine against Ohio State. They won that game, but that Indiana defense last night especially was like this is the question, right? Would Trinidad Chambliss, Jeff asks if he'd be somebody I'd take a swing on in the third round. I'd take a swing on him on day 2. I would.
I'd agree with you. He's QB3, and he sits currently at 67 on my board. But quarterbacks always get a push up. So if somebody took a swing on him in day 2 somewhere, you're no argument here.
Yeah, I would probably say he is your Dante Moore's confusing. We won't get into that. But he what was I going to say? Oh, he's a prime Jackson Dart guy where somebody might come into the back end of round 1 to go after Trinidad Chambliss for that 5th-year option, knowing that he needs just a little bit more. And there's a good point here. Trinidad Chambliss might be quarterback 2 if Moore goes back to school. I know.
And I could see him right at that Tyler Shuck range. Like, you're not confident in round 1, you don't want to trade up and get in there, but right at the top of round 2, first 10 picks in round 2, when we get to that second day, ESPN has the who's best available on day 2, and his photos right there in that first 5 photos.
Yeah. So without a doubt, man, let's get into it. So I told Bill this yesterday. It could be a dart pick. Yep.
Who knows? He may be a dart pick for one of us. Who knows?
I don't know. I know. Not for me. All right. So I'm going to go first because Bill, I don't know why I'm going to go first. I just want to go.
I think I went first last time, so you can go first.
All right. So I'm on the board here at number 6. I have an interesting philosophy that I spoke with my dad about this week, and I'm going to execute it here. So I'm going to see who's looking to trade up here. Cincinnati Bengals at 10, Dallas Cowboys. I'd like to stay in the top 10 if possible. I have this idea of taking 2 offensive linemen and 2 wide receivers in the top 50. So I really have this like thought of like I would love to trade back and get another second round pick, and then I
Yep.
can get 2 offensive linemen. Rather it's a tackle and a guard, 2 tackles, or even 2 guards. I don't give a shit. I want to do that and 2 wide receivers in the top 50, and I'd feel really good about how that starts. So Cincinnati's wanting to come up from 10. I want pick 41. I can probably get more, but just for sake of this argument, I'm just going to take the second round pick in this situation. There's probably like a swap of a 3 and a 4, but
Yep.
something of that line that goes along with this. But just for this exercise, all I'm really concerned about is trading back a few spaces to gain another top 50 pick. So that's what I'm going to do to start the draft. So I'm going to slide myself back, and my first pick is going to be at pick 10. And I'm going to probably go a little bit off the beaten path. I love Spencer Bono. I love CC Maunoa. I just dropped a CC Maunoa a scouting report over on Browns Wire if you guys want to check that out. And I'm going Caleb Lomu here, man, the left tackle from Utah. I know this might be a little high for him in the top 10, but I'm taking a swing on a guy that is still a little bit of a work in progress, but the talent is absolutely there. I think he's already there as a pass blocker. 0 sacks this year, 2 sacks last year, 82.1 pass blocking grade. For him, it's a lot of refinement technically. Like he needs work on some of his hand placement, some of his footwork. I think he's a day one starter as a pass protector. You might be a little bit hesitant about the run blocking, but he's got really nice movement skills. He's a really great athlete for the position. I think he needs to get a little bit stronger and a little bit bigger. You can see the run blocking grade. That's kind of where it shows up. Like I need a little bit more power out of him consistently. But sometimes what's really funny is I think on the technical side of things as a pass blocker, I think he's really good. Pretty good. I mean, there's some inconsistencies there, but I think he's pretty good. But on the run blocking, he's like, he reminds me of Ricky Bobby. He's like, what do I do with my hands? He's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my hands right now. But like coachable shit, right? He has the stuff that you can't coach in terms of the physical tools, in terms of the athleticism. Still, like I said, a little rough around the edges, needs some refinement, but I think Caleb Lomu can lock down that left tackle spot for the next decade. So yeah, it might be a little bit high on some people's board, but I'm betting on the player, betting on the upside. I'm taking Caleb Lomu at 10.
You'll get no disagreement with me. I think Caleb Lomu, he's a top 10 prospect for me, and I get that a lot of people are lower on him, but you have to have the conversation of this is probably the best left tackle in this class when you look at the overall offensive tackle class. And he just needs to get stronger. And guess what? That's something that's fixable. That's can easy. Add strength. You can add mass. It's very easy to fix.
That's easy.
I'm glad you went with a trade for yours because I'm going to be a little bit funky on mine, and I'm going to go with a trade on mine as well. And where I'm looking, I'm with you. I want to stay in the top 10. I want to end up in the top 10. Yeah. Looking at the draft value, it's a slight overpay for Kansas City, but I'm trading back to number 9, and I'm going to get the 40th overall pick with it as well for pick 6. Linemen do love to eat.
Talking about adding size and power, linemen love to eat.
Yeah. And with it, just to kind of make the numbers match a little bit better, I'm going to throw in a day 3 pick in 2027 just to kind of make the numbers match a little bit. But essentially trading back to 9 with Kansas City, getting another top 50 pick, just like you talked about. And now I'm on the board here at 9, and I'm going to go in the same position group you did, and I'm not going to go Caden Proctor, as much as the people would probably call me crazy for it. I'm going to go with my OT1, a guy who you just dropped an article on, and folks, after you're done here, you may want to go check that out. Francis CC Mauinoa, the Miami right tackle. You watch him in the run game, and yeah, I know his run block rate is 78, this season from PFF, but you watch him, he
He's so
just
much better than that.
moves people.
Yeah.
The way he physically moves people and the athletic ability that he has. This is a guy, he's listed 6'6", 315. I think he's closer to 330. I think he's going to end up coming in a lot heavier a little bit. And for me, he reminds me an awful lot of Penei Sewell when Sewell was at Oregon, a big mover who road grades people, who's also very solid in pass protection, but has these athletic gifts. And let's not mince words here. The Browns need all 5 linemen. They need all
Yeah, it
5
doesn't
linemen.
matter. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You
Just
take the
get him.
best guy, just get him. Just set it and forget it. And for me, that's Francis Maui Noah here at number 9.
I love him. I really do. Yeah. No one cares is having himself a good time. I like both the picks, boys. I'm glad. I wouldn't mind going offensive liner. Mekhi Lemon is my number 1 receiver. I loved Mekhi Lemon too. If that was the pick, I would have zero issues with a Mekhi Lemon pick. Dude, Maui Noah, so I wrote the article last week. It just dropped because it's really funny when you write draft content and then you fire your head coach. The draft articles they take a back seat, for a few days because you got so many other things that are kind of a higher priority. But when I wrote the Maui Noah article, I had rewatched the Ohio State game, and I'm like, he against NFL talent, he was out there just pushing dudes around. I do think his run blocking grade should be significantly higher than it is. You're gonna get no arguments there. So now I'm back on the board here at pick 28 with the Jaguars pick. I'm going to look and see what we got at wide receiver. And I have no problem with it, and I'm going to do it. I love Chris Bell, the Louisville wide receiver, man. Love him. 72 receptions, 917 yards this year. The grade against man coverage is very important. The 87 yards per route run is 2.55, which is in elite territory. This is a dude I think he's 6'2", right? Let's see. Yeah, 6'2", 220. If he tore his ACL to end the season, but I texted you about this last year. I don't give a shit about that.
ACLs are different.
I don't give a shit because when I watch this dude, he is so explosive. As soon as he catches the ball, it's just like bam. And I'm doing a write-up for him here. No, Denzel Boston is not. He's already off the board. I see you asking that question, but he is off the board in my simulation at least. But as soon as that ball touches his hand, he just goes to a different gear. 6'2", 220. I think if he was healthy, he could run in the 4.4s. I think he does that. That's who I think he is. Does he need to perfect his route tree a little bit? Yep. Yeah, he rounds some things off. There's some issues there. I know it's only a 4% drop rate, but I do see he's not a natural hands catcher. He's physical at the point of attack because of his size and strength, but you can see him sometimes where you almost drop passes that he had no business dropping and that sort of thing. So you kind of want to work on that, just more he lets it into his body a little bit too much. He's still incredibly productive, but that's kind of some of the reasons people might knock him. Some of the route running, not a natural hands catcher, that thing like that. But when you're that size, that amount of athleticism and speed, and you're going into a Browns room that has just jack shit, I'm all for it. I know I'm a little bit higher on him, but I'm taking Chris Bell here at this pick.
Yeah, I love it, man. We talked about it. I think ACLs are just so different now than they were in the past. And if someone took him in round 1, I've compared him to AJ Brown. This is the guy that runs physical, runs hard, has the big body to move people around. And he's also a hell of a run blocker that doesn't get credit for it. This dude moves people. And now I'm going to go in the same positional direction, but I'm going to go in a little bit different direction. I'm going to go with a guy who has a nickname that shows what he truly is. And this guy has caught, after last night, 15 touchdowns for his team this season, including 7 catches, 75 yards, and 2 touchdowns. His nickname is Waffle House because the man's always open. Elijah Surratt, the IU wide receiver. You look at it, a 5% drop rate, and I'd argue 3 drops on 74 targets. That's just otherworldly.
Yeah.
And then you look his ability versus man coverage and his ability to separate effectively against man coverage. This is where you have to get a guy who can get open, who can be that easy button for you. For you, it's Chris Bell. For me, it's Elijah Surratt because he wins at multiple levels of the fields. Reminds me an awful lot of Dwayne Bowe when Dwayne Bowe was at LSU. The same thing, just an easy button that whoever the coach may be immediately knows, hey, I've got Elijah Surratt. I can scheme him up. I can get him open easily for whoever the quarterback may be. So I'm going Elijah Surratt here.
Elijah Surratt for me is all reliable. Like I feel great about it. Like I feel great about him being open. And his body control, like a lot of those back shoulder throws and things of that nature. It's just like, if you need 12 on third down, he's going to get you 14. He's such a smart player. I considered it. I just wanted to plant my Chris Bell flag. And hey, you like Bell? You like him better than Bell? I don't. I can 100% understand that. He's a hell of a football player. This could be a scenario, though, in the third round. Miami wants to give us Tyreek Hill. We give him our third, maybe a future fifth. I've never been a huge Tyreek Hill fan because of kind of the attitude and the off the field stuff. But does that sound like an Andrew Berry move? Yeah.
And I'm glad someone mentioned Tyreek Hill because I've got an idea here in a little bit that I'm not saying he's Tyreek Hill. In fact, my comp for him is closer to Tavon Austin. But when we get there, it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
So for me, I'm back on the board here at 39 with the Browns pick, and I'm gonna do it. He plays tackle, but he's going to play guard at the next level. That's Jennings Dunker, the Iowa right tackle. I think he needs to move inside to guard. He's an ass kicker, man. In terms of in the running game, he's such a fantastic run blocker. He's kind of you can see. I think the gap grade being as low as it is, I think he's a better gap runner than it suggests. But he's got good enough movement skills. He's a mauler. He wants to hurt people. It's basically like trading out. It's basically like taking Wyatt Teller and I love Wyatt Teller. But it's basically like going it's basically what I did with my running shoes recently. I went back to the store where I bought them and I said, can I get a new pair of these? It's kind of what I think of when I think of Jennings Dunker moving to right guard and you being able to run the ball behind him. I think he's a solid pass blocker. I think he can't deal with speed on the outside at all, and that's why he needs to move inside to guard. But you want to get yourself a butt kicker, and you want to continue to figure out a way to get Quinshon Judkins better opportunities. Yeah, man. Give me Jennings Dunker here in this spot, and let's improve this run game and this offensive line.
I love it. The Dunker pick, like you talked about, it's taking the best player and fitting him into a spot here. So the cool thing is I'm back on the clock with back-to-backs. With trading with Kansas City, I now have the 39th and the 40th pick. So I'm going to go back-to-back, and I'm going to group my picks together. My first pick is a little bit off the beaten path, but I need people to stay with me. You watch what he did last night from the moment the word go hit. And he was on it. I'm going with Indiana cornerback D'Angelo Pons. And the reason I'm going with him is, yes, he is an outside corner, but when you look at his size, 5'9", 173, he's probably better transition for a slot role in the NFL level. You look at what he did from the moment the word go. You watch that first pick six throw and watch him follow Dante Moore's eyes, jump it, run it, and take it back to the house. That's just an amazing player. And you put him next to Denzel Ward and Tyson Campbell, and you watch all three of those guys, number one, in run defense and how they get physical after opposing wide receivers and in run defense as a whole. And then you also factor in now you have three very good coverage corners that you now have to throw against. That's a perfect fit any way you shake it. I'm going D'Angelo Pons at 39. And now back on the clock at pick 40, I'm going with my favorite and my top overall interior offensive lineman in this class, all the way from Texas A&M. It's Chase Bisontis. And I know folks are going to see the PFF numbers and get a little concerned. Listen to me when I say this. This guy is without a doubt the best pass protecting interior offensive lineman in this class, hands down. The way he sets his anchor and moves people around in pass protection is very effective. He needs work in run blocking, needs to learn how to better place his hands in run blocking and driving and pulling in run blocking. But if you need a guy to come in and replace Joel Bitonio on the left side, this is probably the best absolute fit for that. Reminds me an awful lot of Jonah Jackson, who, by the way, is now having success in a Ben Johnson style oriented offense after having a rough couple of years. So for me, this is buying low and keeping it until that stock blows up, and then keeping it beyond that point. Give me Chase Bisontis at left guard here.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I'll go back to catch up because I'm at 41. So I only had one player go in between there for me, which is really funny. I'm considering Amari Washington here, the defensive tackle from Oregon. I don't think he gets here. Because, like, dude, he's what's he come in like 335, and he's got this stupid
6'3", 335, has ran 21 miles an hour on the GPS. If you want to check out more, I did a scouting report over him over on my Substack, which you go to substack.com, search Spark Scouting, and my stuff will pop up. For what it's worth, man, in my mock, he went 33. He was already gone by my second round pick.
Yeah. Man. He would be awesome to replace Malik Collins. Like, and he'd get to learn from Malik Collins where, man.
It also puts Michael Hall in a rotational pick. So I would say do it.
It's great value. It's just such great value. If somehow if teams overthink Amari Washington because he's a defensive tackle, I know they just took Mason Graham and whatnot, but there's some Malik Collins to that game. And I know I said I'm going to trade back to take 2 offensive linemen and 2 wide receivers, but then Amari Washington decided to fall into my lap here. Just ridiculous. He's such a fantastic 8.2% pass rush win rate. I think that can go up. Fantastic run defender, but also just crazy athlete for 335 pounds. Yeah. Call me what you want. I'm taking Amari Washington here.
Yep, absolutely. And a great call out there. If you hire Shula likes to run a lot of flexible schemes, 3-4, 4-3, 4-2-5. So you're going to need a true nose kind of guy. That's a perfect. Amari Washington's a perfect fit. And I know Jeff brings it up. Will we consider using Mike Hall at defensive end? You could use him at defensive end and get him on the outside, or you could just use a 3-headed rotation on the interior and just say, okay, we're going to throw Miles, Amari Washington, Murray, and Mason Graham, and it turns into a hockey line.
Yeah, everybody's fresh. You know, it's Subway. Makes it's an interior Subway. Eat fresh. Let me see what we got going on at wide receiver here. I like a lot of these guys. Jacoby Lane, I don't know what to do with because it's like they were talking about it on I think it was either Todd McShay show or oh, hold on a second. I got to answer the phone. It's Wife Dash. Oh, hey. We got like some eggs and there's a hash brown in here.
Wow.
A French toast bagel we got going on here.
This episode sponsored by Wife Dash. Love it.
Yeah. All right. couple of these guys. Jacoby Lane, like his high plays are really, really good, but his lows are a little bit low for me. I want to see. I kind of think. Let me check something on my notes. I'm always like, this is when it starts getting interesting.
Yeah.
Once you start getting into this, you know what?
Mm.
I'm going to go with Skylar Bell. I'm going to go with the UConn wide
Ooh.
receiver here. Dude's just a playmaker, right? Like a
Yep.
little bit smaller. I think he cut because I think he's what? Yeah,
Six. Yeah.
185.
Six. Yep.
Yeah, so he comes in a little bit smaller, but he's 3.13 yards per out run, which is silly. 8.2 yards after the catch per reception, 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns, 102 catches, only 3 drops with 141 targets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, um, I just want more dynamic playmakers, and he's at his best with the ball in his hands. Like he's one of those guys you manufacture touches for. Um,
Yes.
and you see the 65 contested catch rate, 65% contested catch rate there for him. Where's the numbers here? So 158 in the slot, 265 out wide. I think he's probably more of a slot guy, more full time in the
Mm-hmm.
NFL because of his size. But man, just dynamic playmakers, and he kind of falls into my lap here. Maybe a little bit early for some people, but
Yep.
13 contested catches converted at that size. He's just a playmaker, man.
Oh yeah, and that's what this team needs is just true out and out playmakers on both sides of the ball, offensive and defensive. Which brings me to my next pick at pick 70 here. I'm going to the defensive side of the ball. And I'm going to go with a guy. My comp for him compares very well to a former Cleveland Brown who registered 12 and a half sacks in 2 seasons. And you watched him. He's been the other guy next to someone who's been getting a lot of love in the draft community, was my number one prospect for a while. There's issues. Obviously, he's going to be 25-year-old rookie and he's got injury history. But man, give me Akeem Mesidor at defensive end. And you look at him, he's 6'3, 280. So you could use him in a 3-4. You could use him in a 4-3. 11 sacks this season, just an absolute monster of a pass rusher. And then, oh, by the way, he can also set the edge in the run game. The reason he's here is not because of talent, it's because of the simple fact of he's going to be 25 years old as a rookie. He's got an injury history, but when he's healthy, this dude is just a weapon that you can use in conjunction with Myles Garrett and Alex Wright. And like we just talked about with your pick of Amari Washington, it turns it into a rotation. It keeps guys fresh, and that's what this one is here. I'm going with Akeem Mesidor here for the Cleveland Browns.
One thing I like to do with these exercises when I get to the top, outside of the top 100, is go, oh my God, there's Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker from Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And I'm like he's not a crazy athlete. Like there's not a lot of crazy physical tools, but he's just so intellectual. It's so anticipatory, like just does a great job in terms of diagnosing and reacting. And I'm thinking like if we don't get JOK back, and there's very real possibility, Jacob Rodriguez had a crazy season. I mean, you over 90 grades from PFF as both a run defender and a coverage guy. With 94 tackles, 30 assists. So, what was 124 tackles? Yeah, 20 missed tackles. That kind of, it's a little bit higher than you want. But he's always around the field, and as a complementary piece next to Schlesinger, a tackle machine, a guy that finds ball, hits ball. Nothing elite about really his physical tools, but I really think he's a very smart, intellectual player that has a really good feel for the position.
Yep.
So I like Jacob Rodriguez quite a bit in this spot. I'm going to look real quick just at tight end because I just want to make sure I'm not. Yeah. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Jacob Rodriguez. I know I've now taken 2 defenders here, but I'm going to do it because I do think that he could be a really nice like Sam linebacker.
Oh no, I'm with you 100%. I think it's a great fit. I think it's absolutely perfect for what you're doing on defense. I know that some people are just now joining us. Chef's just now joining us in the chat. Thanks for joining, Chef. I'll go through a real quick recap of my picks, and then Jacob, when he comes back, will go through a recap of his. My first pick, I traded down from 6 to pick 9. Also got the 40th overall pick, selected Francis Maui Noah at right tackle. I then took Elijah Surratt at wide receiver with the other first round selection. D'Angelo Pons as a slot corner at 39, Chase Basantis at left guard from Texas A&M at 40, and then Akeem Mesidor at pick 70 at defensive end from Miami. And I'm back on the clock here at pick 107, and I need people to walk with me with this pick because it's going to look a little crazy, but hear me out. He's 5'10", 180 pounds, probably comes in closer to 170, but is probably pound for pound the best punt returner in this entire class, short of maybe Casey Concepcion, who's going to go round 1. You look at it, 2 drops on 93 targets. So there's 2 things that he does well. He returns punts well, and he catches the ball. This is a perfect fit in the slot for the team that I'm drafting right now. I've got Elijah Surratt, I've got Jerry Jeudy, and now I'm going to throw Zachariah Branch, the Georgia wide receiver, in the slot here in round 4. I think he slides here just because of his size.
His size, yeah.
I think that's what's going to do him in, but that's fine. I'll take him right here at the top of round 4, and now my wide receiver core is pretty much fixed with Surratt and Branch, and then I still have Jerry Jeudy, Tillman as a rotational piece on the 3rd wide receiver.
Dude can fly, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's really there's no other way.
We're talking 4-3.
Yeah. Fly. Not a little bit fly, very much fly. Recap of what I've done so far. I traded back to 10 to pick up another second round pick. I took Caleb Lomo, the left tackle from Utah. Chris Bell, the wide receiver from Louisville at 28. Jennings Dunker, I would move into guard at 39. I took Amari Washington, the defense tackle from Oregon, at 41. Skylar Bell, the wide receiver from UConn at 70, and Jacob Rodriguez at 107. Now I'm looking over here at tight end. It might be a little bit early for me, but I want the contested catch king Tanner Koziel, the tight end from Houston. This year, you see the 74% contested catch rate. That was 20 contested catches. 20. Last year, it was 27, I think. So you're talking about a dude that flirted with nearly 50 contested catches. He's 6'7", 250. It really frustrates me that he's not a better blocker because he has the strength and he has the size. So you've really got to kind of work on refining that. You can see the run blocking grade is not great at all.
Yeah.
He's not a crazy athlete or anything like that. He's never going to be a tight end 1. He's probably always going to be like a fringe tight end 2, tight end 3, who's just a big red zone threat. Like high point, throw it up in the short area, let him go up and get it because he's just a contested catch monster. Yeah. I don't really know. Like, he's a good receiver in college, but he's, like I said, he's not like a crazy athlete or anything like that. So he's not going to run away from very many people. But 2 drops on 94 targets. I feel really good about that sure-handedness, but I'm literally drafting him for the red zone and the first and goal, throw it up to him because he's just a phenomenal contested catch guy, which is pretty much all he is. That's pretty much just who he's going to be, but there's a role for that in the NFL, and I think the Browns could use that kind of guy for whoever the quarterback is.
Oh, I'd love it. 100% love it. I think that's exactly what they need. And I know I just went wide receiver, but here at the top of round 5, when we start to get to this point, round 4, round 5, you got to just take good football players. You got to just take good football players regardless of position. So I'm dipping back into the wide receiver well once again with one of my favorite group of 5 prospects. It's Georgia State wide receiver Ted Hurst. And when you're thinking, you're probably saying, Bill, why are you taking Ted Hurst? Well, first off, he's produced over 900 yards in 2 consecutive seasons, including this past season, almost 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. The other big thing, this guy has the size, 6'3", 195, but he has a very explosive first step, gets on the line quickly, does have the ability to block folks out, does have the ability to use his entire body, a very good hands catcher. The big issue with Ted is that he still struggles with press coverage. So if you jam him at the line, it does create an issue. But if he gets a clean release, this dude is a danger. And now, by the way, I've now invited a wide receiver core that includes Elijah Surratt, Zachariah Branch, Ted Hurst, while still also having Cedric Tillman, Jerry Jeudy, and Isaiah Bond. That is a wide receiver core that will allow any quarterback, whether it's Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, whether it's Malik Willis, whether it's Mac Jones, whether it's the guy at the concession stand who played Division II college quarterback football, they will have success with that pass catching core. Give me Ted Hurst from Georgia State.
Brian, who watches Georgia State but you, Bill? I love Ted Hurst though. Is the thing. Like I like him too.
Yeah.
I'm back on the board at number 144 here. You know who I like quite a bit that we saw kicking some butt last night, Mr. Pat Coogan, the center from Indiana. Really, the 0 sacks is what stands up. The 2 sacks in the last 3 seasons combined really stands out. His movement skills, like I had to go back and rewatch some of him this morning after watching him last night in that game, because I was like, he's got a little bit more movement skills than I thought. And it was probably just I wasn't paying attention. I don't think he's like this like ridiculously toolsy player. But I think he's a smart player. He's an experienced player. He knows how to call out protections and communicate with the rest of the offensive line. He's kind of that leadership type that you want to have at center. But no elite physical tools. That's why he's here on day 3. But he's absolutely worth a swing for a team where it's like, I don't know, man. Luke Whippler, I kind of thought he'd be a little bit better than what he showed us. Not that he was complete garbage, but you're going to potentially at least bring in competition. And now I've got competition / starters for 3 of my offensive line positions because I think Pat Coogan can absolutely earn it. I don't think he'll ever be this elite center, but he's not a liability. That's kind of where I think he'll probably end up.
Yeah, I love it. I think that's where you're gonna look for him. Is he's a very good depth piece that could potentially start for you. He could potentially start for you. So now I said I was going to get a little fun with this, and I'm going to get a little fun with this. When you look at the quarterbacks on the roster currently, there's a lot of different style of quarterback. You have Shedeur Sanders, who's very West Coast offense oriented. You have Deshaun Watson, who fits more of a spread style. I had to do it. I had to mention it. He's on the roster. I'm not saying he should start. I'm saying he's on the roster. And then you have Dylan Gabriel, who kind of is more of this outlier RPO speeded up type of offense. Obviously, Miami benched Tua Tagovailoa, so obviously there's questions: is Tua going to be the guy going forward? So I am going to have a little fun. I'm making a trade.
Oh.
And I am calling up Miami, who was going to take Dylan Gabriel in the 4th round, as we now well know. And I am offering them Dylan Gabriel for pick 149. Miami accepts it. So I get a 5th round selection here. And I'm going to go with a guy who I think shows a lot of shades of Vince Young if you give him time to develop. Very athletic, very tall, strong arm. Give me Taylon Green, the Arkansas quarterback, 6'6", 235, had a very okay season for what he is. You know, the big thing is he struggles with pressure. A 29 pressure grade, he struggles with pressure. But you look at how he wins, it's in the intermediate and the deep parts of the field. The guy's got a cannon. The guy's about as athletic as you can ask for. And the adjusted completion percentage over 71. Here in the 5th round, you take home run swings. And for me, if I just flipped Dylan Gabriel, I'm going to take a home run swing and grab Taylon Green as either the backup to the bridge quarterback, or we have a full-blown competition and we flip over every rock to try to get the guy. Give me Taylon Green here.
Yeah, I get it. Like, I get the, like, take as many swings at quarterback as possible. I'm not going to completely, lose my mind over something of that nature. A guy
Yeah.
that, that I like quite a bit, and I think I'm going to go this route. I like Bishop's Fitzgerald, the safety from USC. I like his teammate a lot better, Kamari Ramsey. But you see, got quite a few box snaps, but like deep safety kind of player that you can move up close to the line of scrimmage. He's a decent run defender, but he's better in coverage. I think he's best when he is deeper. Got decent range. And I think he reacts relatively well to what's going on with him out there. If you want to move him into the box, he's not afraid to get physical or anything of that nature. But I do think that keeping him, as a back free safety is where he's at his best. So let's add some back end coverage. I looked real quick to make sure that I hadn't taken a defensive back, and I hadn't. I'm like, okay, all right, I didn't want to. Dude, I'll tell you what I did the other day. I was doing a mock, just having some fun, and like I took like Drew Aller in the 5th or 6th round, and then I was like, oh, I'm just gonna take it, and then I kept drafting. I got to their final pick at 248, and I was like, well, I'll just take Diego Pavia just because, like, why not take a quarterback? And Diego Pavia is kind of like a ball of clay, just a ball of fun. And then it goes to the part where it reviews your draft. I'm like, oh shit, I took 2 quarterbacks, and I really did not mean to do that. So that's why I was like, let me make sure I didn't take a safety already.
Oh yeah, you got to double check. And for my next pick, I'm going to take a guy. I know I've already taken an edge in Akeem Mesidor. I know that. I've already dipped into that well. But I'm going to throw another pick at edge. I'm going to do it because I'm going to turn this defensive line into just a nightmare. And where I'm going to go is Nadam Tucker, the edge from Western Michigan, because this dude, he does need work in run defense, but an absolute monster of a pass rusher. You see the pass rush grades on the screen, 93 pass rush grade, 93.5 true pass rush set grade, but also the big one, 14 sacks at Western Michigan this year, 41 hurries, lines up a lot as a 4-3 edge. He's 6'3", 250, so you could potentially drop him back into coverage a little bit. Look at that pass rush win rate.
Yeah, man.
28%. Yeah. The dude wins as a pass rusher. It's a DPR pick here in round 5. Give me Nadam Tucker here from Western Michigan.
I'm taking Diego Pavia.
You just hyped everybody up just to do it.
Dude, Diego Pavia, like his size, like he's not going to be a starting quarterback, but like, could you have a package for Diego Pavia because of his athletic ability to run? And I think he throws a pretty decent deep ball, like, for what it's worth. I don't see a guy that does good enough to ever be a starting quarterback, but I do think he could be really gadgety with him. He could be a gadgety, fun, like mess around pick. So here in the 6th round, like you're just trying to swing on guys that you could potentially find a role for. Like he's not the athlete that Taysom Hill was coming out of BYU, but like I kind of envision something like that. Jeffrey says, thoughts on giving up our 5th rounder for Spencer Rattler?
I could see it if you get the right coach. I could see it if you get the right coach, but you're going to need to make sure that you have an offensive scheme that fits him, because otherwise he's not a guy that can win independent of a scheme.
He's not scheme versatile. So yeah, it would depend. I could see something like that happening though. Like if you're just strictly asking, like, could that happen? Like, I probably wouldn't do it, but like, yeah, no, man, I could see it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're here in the 5th round, pick 11. I'm going to take a look at a couple of positions here and see what I've got available. And yeah, I'm going to do it. I think he probably goes a little earlier, but with his size, I think he could fall here. 6'2", 290. I'm going Alabama center Parker Brailsford because you watch Brailsford and what does he do? He wins on the interior and pass protection and moves folks around in pass protection. Needs to get stronger. There is no denying that when you're 290 as an offensive lineman, that's a red flag. But if I'm looking for a guy that either competes with Weipler or competes with a veteran, maybe even the Browns signed Tyler Linderbaum and he's the backup to Linderbaum, listen, at this point on day 3, that's what I'm taking is those home run swings. Give me Parker Brailsford here in round 5.
You traded back, got an extra pick, so go ahead and make your next pick, and because I forgot that you added a pick.
Yes, that is correct. So I'm going to take a look at the board here. And I'm going to see what I've got because if I am correct, I think I've got my guy. Let's see here.
Yeah, experts at work.
Yeah. So I do have my guy here. USC linebacker Eric Gentry. And I get it. You look at the numbers and they're a little concerning. Obviously, a 17% missed tackle rate. But the big thing is look at where he's lined up. Mainly in the box, but also in the slot, also on the defensive line, because he's 6'6", 225 pounds, and just an athletic freak in the middle of that defense. You know who else was a bit of an athletic freak in the middle of a defense from California that the Browns took?
No,
Man,
I don't think that ever happened.
I don't think it ever. It reminds me an awful lot of when they took Carson Schlesinger. And I'm not saying Eric Gentry is Carson Schlesinger. I think he's actually closer to Mohamed Diabate. I think this is a 1-for-1 replacement for Diabate. And also, by the way, he just gets you really good help on special teams. For me, I'm taking that here. Give me Eric Gentry here in round 6.
All right, man. My final pick here. I'm going to add a little bit of pass rush. I'm going to add Ben Bell, the edge rusher from Virginia Tech, an 16.8% pass rush win rate this year. Run defense, not that great. As you can see, he's a DPR, 6'1", 235. So, but pretty good pass rusher, and very limited as a run defender, but can, not a ton of protection, only 3 sacks, but, he gets you some pressures. It's the 7th round. What do you want to do? It's like, I'm going to get somebody. You can never have enough pass rushers. So he's kind of one of those guys where it's like, let's see if I can bring him in, develop him a little bit more, get a little bit more success as a pass rusher, maybe add a little bit of size to him so he can be a little bit of a run defender. But you're looking for some role players in this position. So I'm going to take Ben Bell here, and that will round out my draft.
Love it. So for my final pick, I am going to go back to the group of 5. I'm going to go running back. Obviously, Jerome Ford, a free agent. They could choose to bring Jerome Ford back. But why would you do that when you have probably one of the better pass blocking running backs in college football at 5'11", 227 pounds, over 1,000 yards rushing and 12 touchdowns this season for Toledo, including 560 yards after contact. The dude hits people to hurt people at 5'11", 227. Give me Chip Trayanum, the running back from Toledo here. And now you have a running back room of Quinshon Judkins, Dylan Sampson, and Chip Trayanum. And if Quinshon's not ready to go and you have to run Sampson and Trayanum, that's Thunder and Lightning 2.0 as well. And that's where I'm at.
All right, I'm going to run through this real quick and wrap this thing up. Here's my draft. I went Caleb Lomu, the left tackle, at 10 from Utah. Chris Bell, the wide receiver from Louisville, at 28. At 39, I took Jennings Dunker. I want to move him into guard from Iowa. Amari Washington, the freaky athlete, at 335. The defensive tackle from Oregon at 41 because I had traded back with the Bengals at 10. Skyler Bell, the explosive playmaker at wide receiver from UConn at 70. Jacob Rodriguez, who's all over the field as a linebacker from Texas Tech at 107. Tanner Koziel, the jump ball contested catch champion, the tight end from Houston at 139. 144, Pat Coogan, the center from Indiana. Bishop Fitzgerald, the safety from USC at 147. Just because I thought it'd be fun, I took Diego Pavia, the quarterback from Vanderbilt, at 205. And then give me a little bit more, give me a DPR and Ben Bell, the edge rusher, out of Virginia Tech. And I kick it over to you, Bill, to recap what you did.
Yeah, so I traded down as well. I traded down with Kansas City. To pick 9, took Francis Maui-Noah, the right tackle from Miami. At pick 28, I went Elijah Surratt, wide receiver from Indiana. Pick 39, I went D'Angelo Pons, the corner, either outside or slot from Indiana as well. Left guard Chase Besantis from Texas A&M at pick 40. Pick 70, excuse me. Added Akeem Mesidor, the Miami, Florida edge rusher. Went back to back at wide receiver with Zachariah Branch from Georgia as the slot guy and Ted Hurst from Georgia State as the outside guy. Round 5 selected Talon Green, 6'6", 235 quarterback from Arkansas. Then went and selected Nadam Tucker, the edge rusher DPR from Western Michigan, trading Dylan Gabriel to the Dolphins for pick 149, where I took Parker Brailsford, the center from Alabama. Added Eric Gentry, the do-it-all linebacker for USC at pick 205, and rounding it out at 248, Chip Trayanum, the Toledo running back.
Guys, thank you so much for all the love and support that you have given us in the recent weeks and days. Anything breaks on the head coach situation with the Browns, we will probably try to make an emergency episode at any point, but I think it'll be a couple of weeks potentially before we have any kind of idea what direction they're ultimately going to go. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate you giving some of your time to us again today. We love you guys. We'll talk to you guys next time. As always, go Browns.
Go Browns.